Friends, this is Anita Goswami, Assistant Professor of English at Government College Rajgarh Churu, and in our today's online lecture, we will discuss about the next stanzas of our poem. Here we are. So, I am reading for you. For I have known them all already, known them all, have known the evenings, mornings, afternoons. I have measured out my life with coffee spoons. I know the voices dying with a dying fall beneath the music from a farther room. So, how should I presume? So, here we know that Prufrook is a kind of person who seems to be more experienced when he says that I have known them all already. It seems that he have done it all already. He has seen all things. It seems that he has experienced all the evenings, mornings and afternoons, and he could measure out his life by the number of coffee spoons. Means it suggests that he is very much alcoholic addict, and that he says here that he can measure his whole life by the number of coffee spoons he have used. So he has already heard the voices, the singing in other room, the dying voices singing in other room. So beneath the music from a further room. So how should I presume? In these lines, it also seems that here the speaker is trying to convince the reader that he is a wise man with having lots of experience in his life, so he doesn't need to do anything because he has done everything already in his life. And by done everything, we mean that he has survived all evenings, mornings, afternoons. And what else is left for Prufrook? Well, he has drunk a lot of coffee. In fact, his whole existence can be measured by how much coffee he has drunk. So this is a kind of wicked image of Prufrook here, that the speaker conveys here. Prufrook thinks that he is impressing the readers, impressing the person of his coffee club by as he is really actually damning himself before outsiders, before the eyes of his fellow men. He basically lives from one cup of coffee to the next and with nothing interesting. He says he has heard voices dying or fading away when music starts to play in a further room. We already know that he has a hard time entering rooms that contain people he wants to talk to. He has to settle on overhearing other people's voices through the walls. So the phrase dying fall is can be discerned here, that Prufrook, who is overhearing the voices of another couple, maybe other person, his fellow men, his friends, which gets covered by from another room even further away. So it seems that he wants so how should I presume? What should he supposed to presume here? And that it also again he trying to make the best choice repeatedly, but he couldn't do that. All are resulting in his indecisiveness. And again, when he says that how should I presume, means what can he presume the overall things, the social scenario at around him, when he says that there are people, there are dying voices, which he claims that he knows very well all those things, and how could he can express those things. That is something very much ambiguous about his own ideology, his personality, that he couldn't express the things in the way he wants to convey. And in the next lines, here we are. And I have known the arms, already known them all, arms that are braceleted and white and bare, but in the lamplight, downed with light brown hair. Is it perfume from a dress that makes me so digress? Arms that lie along a table or wrap about a shawl, and should I then presume, and how should I begin? So again, here the same kind of fragmentary notion we can find here, that when he says that he knows some arms, some people, some fellow men very well, the arms that wear bracelets, and these arms are very white and bare in the light. And when he is trying to sense what kind of perfume it is, when he says that is it the perfume that makes me so digress, that some kind of things that making him digressed. And again he shifts his attention to somebody who is sitting nearby him on a table, where he sees arms there which are wrapped in a shawl. Maybe there are some young women who are sitting nearby him, and he wants to communicate with those ladies, but he again gets confused when he says that, and should I then presume, and how should I begin? That he wants to communicate with them, but how should he begin? How should he start his conversation? That is something problematic here, that he couldn't start a better conversation with those ladies, and that is something which troubles him. And we find that the ambiguity which is very much prevalent in his psyche, and that is also seems in his ordinary actions, in his ordinary behavior as well, that he is trying to cover his fear, but he could not do, and he is not able to cover his fear, he is not able to communicate in better way, and that is something troubling him. And now, moving ahead, shall I say I have gone at dusk through narrow streets and watched the smoke that rises from the pipes of lonely men in shirt sleeves leaning out of windows. I should have been a pair of wrecked claws scuttling across the floors of silent seas. When he is trying to articulate his views, he says that, shall I say, I have gone at dusk through narrow streets, that he has led a lonely life through narrow streets, that at dusk time he used to roam in narrow streets in his own city, and he also used to watch the smoke, that yellow smoke which rises from the pipes of chimneys, and of lonely men in shirt sleeves leaning out of windows. And he also used to see there are so many lonely men who are in shirt sleeves, who are leaning out of windows. They used to peep through their windows, and it seems that they are so isolated, and like them he also feels himself that he is also, maybe he is also feeling that he is also alone in his life. I should have been a pair of ragged claws scuttling across the floors of silent seas. The ragged means here rough. So uh, he he was wearing a rough pair of clothes. That skirting means the motion back and forth across the floors of silent seas. That there is sea, and there is sea nearby uh, there, and the water is weaving silently across the it means the water is moving, or scribbling means it moving back and forth there, and some kind of uh, lonely feelings he used to uh, experience, he used to share, and that's why he is also become a kind of empty man, that there is a kind of vacuum in his own persona. He wants to do some kind of fruitful things, but he could not do, and that kind of that things is always troubling him, and which he wants to share, which he wants to convey, but he is unable to do so. Here again we find his the alienation, the feeling of alienation, the feeling of loneliness or emptiness in his uh, personality or in his own life, which makes the purposelessness or the inactivity in his whole life. That means he is leading a kind of purposeless life, and that is something meaningless. It seems the, all that meaninglessness is prevailed around him. So thank you students, I hope you have understood till now, and the rest of the parts of this poem we shall take in our another lecture. Thank you.